boys and girls. Today we're on lesson 2. We're representing multiplication of whole numbers by fractions. So over here what we're going to be doing is we're going to start on page 186, not page 185. So on number 1, build understanding. It says that Mrs. Fan bakes 2 cakes, each in the shape of a hexagon. Okay, I'm going to zoom in over here a little bit. She takes 3/4 of the cakes to a party. All right, so that was important. I have 2 cakes, and she takes 3/4 to a party. And I also note that the shape is a hexagon. That's kind of important, but I'll underline it. Okay, so determine how much cake she takes to the party using pattern blocks and then draw a visual model. So it wants me to draw to show my work. So pattern blocks, if we were in class, would be these shapes that we have. Unfortunately, I don't have that tool to share with you guys even online on Ed. They don't offer that tool. But we know how to draw hexagons and squares and things like that. So that's okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and do what they asked me to do, was draw and show my visual model. So I'm going to show my 2 hexagon cakes. Okay, remember a hexagon has 6 equal sides. I'm going to try to make these as equal as I possibly can. Yep, I failed. Okay, and I'm going to make another one because he has 2 cakes. And each one of them is in this shape. Did I have to make them in this shape? No, I could have made rectangles. Why did I? I don't know. Maybe I wanted to make my life complicated. Okay, here are his 2 cakes, and she takes 3/4 of these cakes to a party. Okay, so yesterday when we had all those cats, they were equal amounts. We had the 12 cats. I had to put them into 4 groups. That was easy. I had the 16 cats. I had to put them in 4 groups. That was fine. That was easy to divide. But now I have 2. So I got to cut these 2 cakes up into groups of 4 because that's what my denominator is. My denominator for my fraction is 4. So I'm just going to go ahead and split this cake into 2 pieces. Okay, and I'm going to split this cake into 2 pieces. Okay, now I have 4 equal pieces, right? Yes. Now I'm going to go ahead and shade in 3 of these pieces to show 3 of the 4 pieces. So this is 1, 2, 3. There I go. I shaded in 3 of my 4 pieces of my 2 cakes. Okay, so let's go ahead and start answering some of these questions they have for us. So part A says, how did you use pattern blocks to find the amount of cakes Mrs. Fan takes to the party? Well, like I said, I represented each one with a hexagon. So I drew 2. And I'm just going to show a hexagon instead of writing it. You can go ahead and write it just because I want to save time. I drew 2 hexagons, right? That's the first thing I did. Then I cut each one in half. Then I cut them in half. And I did that because I wanted to make 4 equal parts, or 4 equal groups. Sorry, 4 equal parts. Okay. And then finally I went and I shaded in 3. And I shaded in 3. Okay, this I got from my denominator. Okay, so I'm going to write denom right here, just so I know what we're talking about. Sorry for my handwriting, boys and girls. And this I got from my numerator. Numerator. Okay, so now it wants to know for part B, what amount of the 2 cakes does Mrs. Fan take to the party? So what was the amount of the 2 cakes that she takes? Well, she took 1, 2, 3 of the halves. She took 3 halves, or I could say she took 1 whole, right? I could say or 1 whole and a half. Okay, there's 2 ways to say that. Now remember, what we're doing here is we are going ahead and we are trying to use pictures to show multiplication problems, okay? So just like we were talking about yesterday in the Are You Ready, we could multiply to check our work here, all right? So remember, our original problem said that we have 2 cakes, and she takes 3/4 of those cakes. Remember, the word of means to multiply. So if I have 3/4 times 2, and it says to write a multiplication equation to model the problem, I know that my 2, I'm going to have to put over 1 because 2 divided by 1 is still 2. Okay, any whole number is over 1. Now I can multiply across. 3 times 2 equals 6/4. Okay, and I can simplify this to be 3/2 because I can divide each of these by 2. So that's 3/2, which is what we got, right? And then I would still get, when I rewrite it, how many times does 2 go into 3? Because this is an improper fraction, my numerator is greater than my denominator. I would get 2 goes into 3 one whole time with 1 left over out of 2. Okay, so as you can see, you can go ahead and draw to find your answers, or you can go ahead and multiply to find your answers as well. All right, so again, things we did, I drew my 2 hexagon cakes. I cut them into 2 equal pieces each so that I can get 4 equal parts. Then I shaded in 3 of those parts because that's what my fraction told me to do, 3 out of the 4. And that's how I figured out how many pieces of cake she took. She took 1 whole cake and half of another. 1 whole cake and half of another. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and flip to the next page. All right, so here, try to erase this. So over here on number 2, it says Rashad bakes 4 equal-sized granola bars. Okay, he serves 2/3 of the granola bars to his friends. It wants me to draw a visual model. Okay, so again, I have 4 equal-sized parts. 2/3 of the bars are going to his friends. It wants me to draw a visual model. So again, I have these rectangle pieces. I'm just going to draw my rectangle pieces. Of these rectangle pieces, I need to put them into groups of 3. Now I can't pretend these are all equal size, I'm so sorry. I can't get 4 pieces and make them equal sizes. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to cut them in 3. So 3 different groups. Okay, here's my top group, my middle group, and my bottom group. Okay, and I'm going to have to shade in 2 of each of these groups. So that's group 1. I'm going to shade it in. So I shaded in my top group, and I'm going to shade in my middle group. Okay, so I just shaded in 2 of the 3 groups, right? So again, if it was these pieces right here that they have drawn, I just cut them, and I shaded in the top, and I shaded in the middle. I shaded in 2 of the 3 groups. Yes? Okay. So A, how did you make equal-sized parts from 4 holes? What did I do? Oh, I had my 4 granola bars, and I cut them into 3 groups, and then I shaded in my my two groups to show the 2 out of the 3, right? So what does the 2 in the fraction 2/3 represent, and how did you show this in your visual model? So like I said, that was when we went ahead and shaded it in, and that just represents the amount of, it represents how many of the 3 equal-sized parts were served. So the parts that I shaded in, it shows the parts that Rashad went and gave to his friends, remember? So again, how many of those equal-sized parts did he serve? Count them. How many did we shade in? Okay. And then finally, how many granola bars did he serve? Write a multiplication model to model your answer. So here, remember, when you give your answer that you are going to label what they're looking for. And remember, look at the unit that they used. How many 1/3 size pieces? He used blank many 1/3 times pieces. So you're going to count them and then label it with this. For D, it just wants to know final answer, how many of those were sold, and to write it, to show your answer using the equation that I showed you on the page before. So what you would be doing is your equation of that 2/3, and we're multiplying it with the 4 granola bars that we have. And remember, we're going to put it over 1, and you'll multiply across. Multiplication with fractions is very simple. The denominators, we don't care if they're the same or not. We're going to multiply straight away. So 2 times 4, that's 8. Simple. 3 times 1, that's 3. So how many granola bars does he serve? He served 8 of the 3. Okay, you should be getting that. Go ahead and try to do number 3 on the next page on your own. It's very similar in way that it's kind of done some of the work for you. It says that Issa has 2 boxes of pizza. Each box has 5/8 of a pizza left. Jack says that this story context can be modeled with the equation 5/8 over 2 and 1 1/4. Explain why Jack's equation does not model the story contents. So his equation that he used is incorrect, okay? We have to try to look at what's going on in the story, and is the equation that he wrote right? Should he have done it that way? Or should we have done it another way? Rewrite the story context so that it can be modeled with the equation 5/8 over 2. 5/8 times 2 equals 1 1/4. This equation is correct. Yes, when you do 5/8 times 2, you would get 1 1/4, but it doesn't match the story that he gave us. So write a story that it would match that. And then draw a visual model to represent the problem. So on the side here or on the bottom, draw a picture that would exactly show what happened here. Okay? And then go ahead on your own, try to do numbers 1 and 2. Al bakes 4 round cakes that are decorated like baseballs for a team party. Okay, so that's important. 4 round cakes. The party guests eat 7/8 of the cakes. How many cakes do they eat in all? So that's a goal right there. Okay, that's one goal. Another goal is to draw a visual model to find the answer and then write the equation. So there are 3 different things that you have to do here. Okay, you have to answer the question, draw a visual model, and then write an equation. Number 2, a carpenter has 10 equal-sized pieces of wood. She uses 3/5 of the wood to make a box. Use a visual model to find the number of pieces of wood that the carpenter uses, then write an equation. Okay, so you have 2 goals here. 1, 2. As always, boys and girls, if you have any questions, please message me below. We will be talking and going over all these answers at 1 p.m. today at our video conference. Talk to you later. Bye.